the people over at Fox and Friends decided to have a little debate about whether or not Rand Paul is scaring Democrats. Well, actually, the segment is titled, Which GOP Contender Has the Democrats Most Afraid? And so Steve Ducey brought on Brad and Dallas Woodhouse. They're two brothers that are opposing. They're at the opposing ends of the political spectrum. One's a fundraiser for Hillary, and the other is, of course, a very conservative Republican. Now, they were talking about Rand Paul and whether or not he's a good fit for the GOP. And I believe it was Dallas Woodhouse who started talking about whether or not Rand Paul, his policy positions on national defense, would be enough to win over conservative voters. Let's take a listen.
Rand Paul, I sort of agree with Brian Kilmeade, what he was saying a few minutes ago, that that his sort of worldview may not be fitting the world as a lot of people see it right now. He's got to prove, in my opinion, Rand Paul's got to prove that he will nuke a Muslim country if we have to.
Well, that escalated quickly. He's got to say that he'll nuke a Muslim country. He doesn't say which Muslim country. He's just like, well, he's got to nuke a Muslim country. You just pick one. There's plenty. We'll pick this one over here, Pakistan. Except that Pakistan has nukes, and that would be kind of dangerous. And besides, nuking people isn't a great idea anyway. And of course, Dallas had this also to add on to that.
I'm not saying we should, but I'm saying that we will do that if it takes saving America, and that there's no doubt that he will do what it takes to protect America.
Brad.
Got to do what it takes to protect America, so let's nuke some Muslim countries. That's an interesting stance, but I understand what he's saying. Basically trying to say that, look, conservatives aren't going to vote for a guy who isn't hawkish, isn't going to do whatever it takes to protect America. Well, you don't have to nuke people. That's a little overboard. Besides, one of the things is that he's like, well, I want to protect Israel, friend of America, ally of America. You really think nuking a neighboring country to Israel will help Israel all that much? There's this whole thing called radiation fallout from a nuclear weapon. I don't think you want that close to Israel. I'm just saying. And besides, nuking a Muslim country is just not a good idea. Period. Maybe we should try diplomacy. Interesting. Now, of course, Dallas, after this was picked up by the blog Crooks and Liars, and of course mocked, Dallas decided that he would go to Facebook to defend his position. He says, quote, "Damn right I said it. I of course meant that Rand Paul has to win over the American and Republican primary voters on national security. At its core, the GOP is a national security party. Period." I don't know why I'm doing this voice. "We are not the blame America first crowd. That is my brother's side, not mine." Now he continues. "We don't like war. I don't like war. We hate war." I'll disagree with that. I think you guys in the Republican Party love war. In fact, that's your first answer to everything. Have you met Tom Cotton? Have you met Tom Cotton? Have you met Dick Cheney? Those guys might disagree with you. War is awesome when it comes to them. But of course they say we hate war. He continues, "However, we need a president who will do whatever it takes to protect America and her friends, including Israel." Which I mentioned, bombing, nuclear a Muslim country in the area of Israel probably isn't in the best interests of Israel as well, and also not in the best interest of us or anybody. Nuking people, kind of a bad idea. Now, he says, "I never want to see another nuke used." Oh, thank goodness. "But if we had to, like in World War II, then so be it. I want a president willing to keep the option of nuking the enemy on the table rather than letting them get the bomb to terrorize us and threaten and possibly destroy Israel as we know it." Look, I understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, I think diplomacy is probably a better option if we can use it. I think diplomacy needs to be the first option, and I'm not saying that this is what I'm not saying that he's disagreeing with that. I'm just saying that why bring it up? Why do we need a president who wants to, like even think about using our nuclear stockpile? I mean, that's just a bad idea. I don't know. Call me a naive libby-lib if you want to, but that's just how I feel about it. We shouldn't go around nuking people. It's bad for them, obviously. Bad for us, bad for the environment. It's just a bad idea. And I wish we didn't have any. Now, we live in a world, of course, where there's nuclear weapons pretty much everywhere. In fact, America owns probably the most nuclear weapons out of any country. That doesn't mean we have to use them. It doesn't mean we should even think about using them. It's just a bad idea. So no, we don't need a president that's willing to nuke another country. We should go in a different direction.